Who's sexier, Guts or Griffith? The topic we all should be debating about. Who cares about who's stronger, or how Guts will win against Griffith? Let's talk about who's sexier. That's what's really important, and that's what this video is about. I'll make a point system so whoever has the most points by the end of this video is sexier. Now many are probably thinking, isn't it Griffith? He's a femboy. Everyone in the story finds Griffith sexy, but I always felt that's misleading. As a heterosexual man who's had gay thoughts about both Guts and Griffith, I want to lay down my 2 cents and reasoning and figure out who truly is sexier, as there's 3 factors to play in deciding who's sexier, and these are the factors I consider one has to examine to see if someone is sexy. Most obvious being looks, then there's personality / character. But there's one more factor that makes someone sexy, which I will talk about later in the video. But first, let's talk about looks. I found myself gay agonizing for hours on this, as it's very difficult. Griffith is a femboy, which you can call the chosen ones. Griffith can attract gays, heterosexuals, even homophobics. I can attest to that. And there's even more to observe. His hair is so luscious, and it has this poofiness to it, which invites you in, wanting to get close to Griffith, which works as a metaphor for Griffith's character, someone who allures anyone who makes contact with Griffith. Then there's his eyes, being like a hawk's, which can capture anyone, so once he has you in his sights, you are forced to be gay if you're a man. Then there's his sexy plump lips. Now there is one thing I had to mention. Griffith has no ass. I fell on my knees when I realized he has no ass. I would like to blame this on the torturer, but this was before that. A femboy with no ass is like a bi who gets no man or woman. What you bi for? But I will give Griffith credit for something no other character can do. He can make me have heterosexual and homosexual thoughts depending on what I'm feeling. If I'm feeling gay or closeted, where I can imagine him as the man or the woman. So Griffith can make me heterosexual or homosexual depending on my will. So that's a plus in my books. So Griffith is an 8 out of 10 in looks. Now for Guts. One would think Guts has a disadvantage, but there is something that makes Guts special. His big man tits. His man milkers. Ever since I saw Guts, I found myself thinking, wow, I want to sleep on top of them. And from what I've seen, other men and women as well. But there's more to Guts' looks as well. There's his chiseled jawline. He could crush you with it if he wants. Then there's his muscles. Can treat you as rough as you want. Then his monster feet grippers. Imagine how fast he can run towards you. That's a thought I like to have every once in a while. Now he only has one hand, but that's all he needs. Now what about his ass, you're wondering? And good news, he has an ass, and a tasteful one at that. Even Casca can't help but grab it. Now as for Guts' hair, while I myself love it, it does not look as luscious as Griffith's poofy long hair. So at the end, Guts has an 8 out of 10 in looks, so it's a tie in the looks department. The score being 1-1. Now for the personality / character factor. Now I want to be fair to Griffith, as if it's post Golden Age Griffith, then Guts wins this one in a landslide. As post Golden Age Griffith, I want him gone. Now Golden Age Griffith on the other hand, I want him all around me. But post Golden Age Shark, my god, he has no conversation skills at all. He just relies on being a femboy to gather everyone around him. He's just a walking cheat code. I will say, there is a certain charm to Griffith still, that I still see. It's that confidence and smugness. I hate it and wish to see him on his knees, but I do like smug, confident people as well. But overall, Golden Age Griffith clears. And the reason why Golden Age Griffith is amazing, despite we the viewers knowing how calculating and scheming he is, by how he reacted to Adonis' death, is because when reading the Golden Age arc, it's surprising how charming, childlike, funny, sensitive, unpredictable he is. That makes him such an interesting person to have around, and I definitely would love to be around Golden Age Griffith. We have moments where he shows this genuine joy towards the creepy stuff like the Behelit in a cute way. Him recommending to Guts, him providing support to Casca, and genuinely supportive when he didn't have to. He didn't have to intervene to help her when they first met. Then there's him being cool with Corcus. The fact he has Corcus as a leader of men in the Band of the Hawk shows how cool Griffith is. Griffith knows Corcus is the biggest Guts hater, and we all know Griffith is the biggest Guts lover. And the fact that he still has Corcus as a leader of the section of the Band of the Hawk is genuinely so cool to me. Now fuck Griffith for what he did, but I can't overlook how complex he is as a character, that I can't help but find myself charmed by him. Now for Guts. Golden Age Guts, you can say he was a himbo. He had this dumb cute energy to him. He made a lot of mistakes. Him not knowing what to say at times, him saying too much, which leads to funny moments like Casca hitting him. He was a very reactionary character, where he didn't seek out the plot. The plot came to him. He just swung where Griffith told him to. He was funny as well, but what made Golden Age Guts stand out to me the most was his desire to learn about himself or others, and that's what made Guts such an amazing person. After the Golden Age arc, Guts is another beast, and I mean that in the sexiest way. Now Guts did regress a little as a character post Golden Age arc, but that makes sense after what happened. But once he realized his mistake in seeking revenge, abandoning Casca, past that is him being such a caring person, not leaving Casca alone, being kind and supportive to his new bonds, being a dad towards Shirk and Isidro, more understanding as a person due to his previous mistakes, and not letting anyone shoulder any type of burden on their own, as shown with Shirk, Farnese, etc. And then there's his corny dad jokes, which I find sexy as hell. So Guts to me wins in the personality / character factor, due to being consistent and even getting better as the story progresses. So the score right now is 2-1, Guts in the lead. Now as for the last factor, that I consider the most important, the sexy barrier factor. Now this is really important. To me, true sexiness is when gender doesn't matter, and they are able to attract anyone with their sexiness. Now one would think Griffith thrives on this, but it's the opposite. Griffith doesn't break the sexy barrier. Griffith suffers from this because he's a fanboy. Me being a closeted homosexual will rationalize all these gay thoughts I have about Griffith by saying he looks like a woman. The same can be said by all the men in the story in Berserk who are attracted by Griffith. Everyone thinks he's such a pretty woman. He's prettier than a woman. He's not breaking the sexy barrier, but rather it's his sexy feminine features that are attracting the heterosexuals. Now Guts on the other hand does break the sexy barrier. Guts has the power to attract the closeted gays, aka the alpha Berserk fans, the one who sees Guts as only a badass and nothing else, and aspire to look by him by going to the gym. So the fact that Guts can attract those fans is amazing, as he's the epitome of a man that I can rationalize any arguments as to how I'm not gay for imagining all the things I want Guts to do to me. So the score is 3-1. So it's clear by now that Guts is a sexier character. And if you find yourself doubting my reasoning, look at these sexy Guts panels. Have a good day.